Hey everyone, welcome back. What I'm going to talk about today is installing new flooring in our RV. Now, last winter I watched probably every video out there on people putting in new flooring, and if you've got an older RV and you want to update it, maybe make it look a little bit newer. A lot of people are putting in the laminate vinyl flooring, and that's kind of what we had decided to put down. But after looking at all the videos and then hearing some information from some flooring people, what I decided to do was put down a solid sheet of vinyl. Now, the laminate flooring I really like. There's a lot of different choices out there, patterns, colors. It's easy to put down. You can work on a little bit at a time and work your way through. But a couple of things that I didn't like is I've talked to people who have it in their house and they had a few issues with the panels separating either from heat or humidity. Now, inside a camper, and it's going to sit all winter, it's unheated. In the summer, it's sitting, and if you're not using it, it can be over 100 degrees. And you put that with the fact that you're going to pull it down the road and it's going to bounce around, you have a chance of some panels separating. So that's why we decided on the vinyl. And what we've done, I didn't put it on the slide, and I'll tell you why. I've seen a lot of videos where people are putting it on their slide out, and it looks good. The only thing you have to contend with is, like on this slide here, this manufacturer, the slide itself goes down behind this track, but to cover it, you would have to leave a piece of vinyl sticking out a little bit over the top of this just to cover it, which isn't an issue. But the issue is when you have your slide in, you've got that piece of vinyl that's sticking out with no support underneath it. Now, we use our camper, we'll take it for a couple weeks at a time in the summer, and we can stop in a rest park, and if we want to eat lunch in it or whatever, we can access everything with our slide in. But if we're going to walk through this area with the slide in and you've got this piece of vinyl sticking out, you got a high chance of breaking that off. So what I opted to do was leave this carpet, and that's going to be at a later date. We're just going to pull this carpet out, get a new piece and put in there, and that way we don't have to worry about it. I didn't want to take a chance on having to, every time we walk in here, we snap off the piece of vinyl. So another thing we run into, and I seen this on somebody's video, and I'm going to pull this slide in a little bit and I'll show you another problem. Okay, I watched a video last winter and some people put their flooring down. They did the laminate and they did an excellent job on it, looked great, but when they brought their slide in, it got most of the way in, and where it sets down on the floor, it put a big scratch, a gouge in the floor, and there was either a nail or screw or something under here that they didn't know about. So if I wouldn't have seen that video, I wouldn't have thought anything of it. So I looked underneath this, and it's a piece of wood, and it's rough. And although there's nothing that's really going to gouge the flooring, it's not a smooth surface. And I figured every time that comes in, when it gets in about 3/4 of the way, it drops down on the floor and it has to slide on here. And it's wood, but it's rough, and I thought that's going to start scratching the floor. And another thing I figured out, the reason they put carpet in these RVs, they'll have part carpet, part vinyl. That carpet is a guide for this to run on, because when this slide comes in, you got about a 1/2 inch of carpet there, and it lays on that. When I had everything stripped out of it and I run the slide in, you could see that slide would actually drop that extra 1/2 inch, and that whole slide assembly, you could see it tip when it come in and then it tip when it go out. Now, if you've got a slide on your RV, sooner or later you're going to have problems with it. You're going to have some issues. And I thought that just looked like added stress, and it's something I didn't want to, have a breakdown out on a road where the slide's not working right. So what I come up with, when I got the flooring from the flooring store, the guy gave me some remnant carpet, and I cut these strips out of it, and I just put foil tape around the edge to keep the fibers from all falling off. So when we pull our slide in, I'll just put these down with the carpet side down. That slide would come in, it'll go right over the top, and it hits about right here, and then it'll use this as a cushion to come in, and so it can't contact the floor, it can't scuff it, and it also holds the slide up. And I'll do these all the way down. It's about 12 feet, and I think I've got 6 of them here, so it supports that thing, the slide, so it doesn't drop down. It puts takes the stress off of it, so that worked out good. A little bit inconvenience every time we want to remove the slide, we've got to lay these down, but I'd rather deal with this than have an issue with the slide. So it works out real good. It protects the floor, it keeps the slide from stressing too much by moving and bouncing around. And here, I'll show you how we did the vinyl flooring. It's a little bit more complicated to do than the laminate, because you've got one sheet and you've got to get that thing in here and get it cut. So here I'm going to show you next how we did it, a fairly simple way. Okay, what I did, go to your home improvement store and get a roll of this paper. It's almost like a paper bag material. So once I had the old flooring taken out, the carpet, the vinyl, all the nails, the floor was nice and clean, no rough spots, I laid this paper down from one end to the other and make a big pattern out of your on your floor, and cut a few holes in it, put tape on it, it'll keep it from shifting. But all your little corners, you just make little filler pieces, tape everything together, tape your seams, and you're basically making, you follow all around your corners, all your little nooks and crannies, and make a paper template of it. So get this out of here, roll it up best you can, get it out the door. Take and lay your new vinyl out on a clean surface like a garage floor, something that's smooth and flat where you got enough room to work. Lay this paper pattern out there, tape it down, and then just trace it out and add about an inch. Go an inch bigger on your vinyl than your pattern in case you've got any mistakes where it might have shifted or come a little bit loose. Cut the vinyl out, and we laid the vinyl down in here, made sure we had about the same overlap all the way around. It was running parallel with everything. And once it's in, then we just pulled up one whole side of it and applied the glue. Now I wanted to glue this down so when we slide furniture on, it's not going to pull up the vinyl or anything or buckle it. But we pulled up the vinyl to the halfway point, and I troweled my glue on there, and it's a real thin glue. It's like a 1/32 inch notch trowel you use. Glue it down, lay this out, flatten it out by hand, and once we got that side laid down where we wanted it, then we just did the other side, pulled it up, glued it, and then all we had to do was just go around the edges and trim it. And that was a little bit time consuming to get it in the corners real nice. But once it's done, you've got a seam-free floor. It's not going to come apart on you like a laminate. And I just used a clear silicone to go all around the edges here, especially in a kitchen if you're going to spill water or something, because you got bare plywood underneath here. And that way it'll keep anything from seeping in there and ruining your subfloor. But it works out real good. It's glued down solid. We've got recliner that's in here, and you go down the road, we didn't want it shifting around and pushing on the vinyl, so that's why I glued it down. And we're real happy with it. And like I said, that's going to be a future date. We're going to pull this carpet out, just update it, get a new piece cut, and we won't have to worry about damaging an edge. And we're really happy with it. It come out good. I don't know cost wise if it's any cheaper or more expensive than some of the vinyl, the plank, but we're real happy with it. We did buy top quality vinyl by Mannington, so it looks good, it feels good, so we're happy with it. Like, comment, subscribe, anything else you want to do. Thanks for watching.